Hey, good morning guys, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. This is a really important video. It's going to be a quick one. It's going to sort of cover a lot of information for all vehicles, but this is one where something really small can cause a big problem, and it had a lot of people stumped. So I'm going to explain it to you. I think the car's fixed, but I'm going to explain the situation. We've talked about it before, and this is the time I'm going to remind you. There's heaps of other videos there, so spend your time doing your homework, going back, searching, use that magnifying glass to search what you want to know about. Check out playlists. There's a lot of subheadings there, obviously with that group of videos of what you want to know about there. So right here we've got a 2009 120 Prado. Okay, I've never seen it until yesterday. I've recently been on annual leave, and it was one of the text messages that came through. It was from another workshop that recommended me. Basically the story goes, you know, your typical owner that doesn't know anything about cars, diesels, what needs to be done, and taking it to the typical mechanic that doesn't know much about, I suppose, what needs to be done specifically to each vehicle. That's where we're really good at the vehicles that we've worked on a lot and we specialize in, because when you live, eat and breathe, you just get really good at them. You're still good at other stuff, but you get really good at one thing. So the regular mechanic that's been looking after this, and I'm going to show you some pretty dodgy workmanship that I'm going to blame him for based on the information I've been given. I could be wrong, but you know, with these things we're usually right, if you know what I mean. We've been here, seen this. So the usual mechanic, so it's done 310,000 k's. It's really clean. It doesn't go off-road. It's not modified. It's just got the alloy bull bar. It's a 2009 with a 1KD auto. So these people, they're driving the car. It's doing some. It's got flat spots, so they're accelerating, and it's like they're going through. It's cutting on them, and they're going through the windscreen. I asked, did it stall? And they said, oh yeah, maybe once or twice. So that the people that are the good students that watch the videos are already should be like me, because I'm sharing I'm not holding anything back. I'm sharing basically all the information. This is why you want to be subscribed with a bell on both channels, 4x4 Diesel and 4x4 Adventures. The name's changed on the other one. It's not 4x4 Touring Straight, 4x4 Adventures. Now, so it's they put the foot down to go, it doesn't go, or then it's going, there's all sorts. So basically a flat spot, the power's not there. Now, back to basics. Engines, it's really simple. You've got an engine, in this case 4 cylinders. Now I just want to say now, the Nissan owners, could be exactly the same problem for you. Petrol owners could be a little bit different. You're probably not going to come across this one in a petrol, but this is your education. Sit tight, okay? I'm going to explain it to you. Engine, in this case 4 cylinders. You've got compression, right? Compression's consistent generally. It doesn't come and go. It doesn't go, it's okay 1 minute, not the next. So you've got the engine there. With a diesel, some people think they're complicated, smoke and mirrors, you know what I mean? They're not complicated. It's even easier than a petrol, right? Let me explain it this way. Instead of having a fuel system and an ignition system that's got to be right, it's just got a fuel system. It is the ignition system as well. It's all in one. So it's even simpler. It's half as complicated as a petrol. So when you get it, if you watch my information, get your head around it, you're going to go, why are we scared of diesels? All this diesel specialist, all these people, I'm an A-grade diesel, whatever. Yeah, good luck to you, mate. Doesn't mean anything. It means what? You can work on dirty tractors and be rough and slap it around, use a big spanner. You're not going to break anything in because it's all big and heavy duty. Mate, these are the small, tender diesels that, you need to sort of, you know what I mean? You need to take it easy and do everything right, torque specifications. So, yeah, a little bit off topic, but it's all information and most people love it. So remember to give us a thumbs up. So it's sort of cutting out, it's stalled a little bit. So I didn't get any information over the phone because I don't do phone calls. Reminder, I don't do phone calls. If I'm going to do a phone call, I make the phone call and I'll ring you. I'm only going to ring suppliers and clients that I need to call. I'll know you'll be stored in the phone. I'll decide to make the call. Sorry, I'm too busy to take calls from tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people want to speak to me. It's just not going to happen. Text messages for purchases or to book in. Monday mornings pretty much only from 7:30 a.m. for the parts purchases. So it's sort of, it's cutting out, it's flat spotting. They're saying it's dangerous. I said, well, if it's dangerous, you should probably bring it on a tow truck. Luckily, they only live a couple of k's away, so they drove it. I said, I'll have a quick look at it. Literally all I've got's 5 minutes, right? I've got like 5 minutes. I'll have a quick look, because when you know these cars well, in 5 minutes, a quick look, I'm going to pretty well guess what it is, and it's an educated guess. So the vehicle's been to the normal mechanic, he's got no idea. The normal mechanic recommended another guy, doesn't matter the name of the business, his name's Sam. He's in the west side of Melbourne, good honest bloke. He sends me a lot of injector jobs, I send him some other work, you know, in return. We look after each other. So they've taken the car to Sam. They got along pretty well, chit chat. He spent a lot of time, couple hours, trying to work out what it was, and he's really confused, arms in the air. This is why you got to sit tight, because it's so simple when you understand it. Every word I'm telling you is part of the story, okay? He's like, yeah, he's not sure, and then he said, mate, take it to Anthony, right? So probably he should have done that after about 10 or 15 minutes, because it just saves so much time. I have vehicles that have been to 6 mechanics coming from the other side of Melbourne, packing them, whatever, on the way to getting here, and everyone sticks their nose in there and bits and pieces and causes problems sometimes, and they don't figure it out. So when you've got a problem with a 1KD, it's kind of send it straight to Anthony, or watch the videos, search the videos, or ask Anthony who he can recommend, okay? Because my reputation's very important, okay? And I'm only gonna recommend people that I'm absolutely impressed with, if you know what I mean. And we want more of those, and please put your hand up if you think you're a workshop or someone. If you're in the trade and you can diagnose these problems, you're watching the videos, you understand, or even you've learnt from me and you want to be part of the crew, right? It's like a franchise, but it's free. You don't pay. It's just, mate, you know, I'm not here to get big, rich and famous, greedy. I'm like, you know, you do good work, I'll send you some work, no problem, right? You do better, all the feedback's good, we'll send you some more. If you're open, you're on the same page. So this could be a D40 Navara, and it could have the same problem, okay? And they do have a lot more problems than Nissan. Sorry, Nissan owners, but it's just the truth. There's a lot more Toyotas, and they have less problems. But, of course, when you've got a component, and this is all about one small component that's fairly cheap. It's not an engine, it's not injectors. So you've got a good engine, you've got good compression. What's controlling how the engine runs? Well, one main part of it is the injectors. The injectors are how much fuel gets sprayed in for how long, let's say, spray patterns, how much fuel, how long, duration, timing, all that sort of thing. So that's kind of what controls everything, as far as if it's blowing smoke, well, other than blocked air filters, dirty sensors, faulty sensors. They're everything on what controls the engine, and that's why wrong combustion caused by injectors not working right, chips and tunes, people doing remaps, adding power to small engines is why it causes problems with many makes and models with cracked pistons and stuff like that. But of course, it's always pick on Toyota. That's fine. We don't have a problem with that. We know how to prevent it in 99.9999% of cases. Got a good engine. Okay, let's say you've got good injectors. They've replaced the injectors. Now I'm going to just quickly say there, it's got a few rattles and knocks and noises that I'm not happy with. It's got some other issues I'm going to show you shortly. So the injector job, that was done a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago maybe. They spent about $3,000. They wouldn't have got new fuel pipes. Who knows what engine. So we've got to look into it. I'm going to show you one of the main problems in a moment. I'm going to get to the point, don't worry. It's all information. This is important. If I don't explain it, I look at the comments and people, they talk to me like I'm an idiot. I don't know what I say in the video sometimes. I'm sorry. It's probably my fault that I've said something wrong, like the fuel economy ones. I know exactly what causes it to make fuel. The example is showing people, someone that's going to live or travel like the Northern Territory or the Outback, that's got no, the bull bar does make a difference, it's aerodynamics. The tow bar does make a difference because it means you might have a trailer. My point, I said there's no tow bar, is to tell you I'm not towing, I'm not heavy, it's a GX, it's light. On the roof, there's no big boxes. People aren't listening. I even replied, no boxes, no boxes. 4 times, oh, the boxes don't need, there's no boxes, mate, you know, like, hello. I know exactly it's a brick, and adding more to the roof makes it worse, but I've also had other Prados with other engines, so I'm trying to show you what economy you can and can't get to compare to other vehicles, reality, right? Doesn't really need a comment, just look at it for what it is. As much information as I can include is in there. So, right, yeah, off topic, but I don't care. I'm answering a question from another video, right? So I don't care, like it. Your compression's good, your injectors are good. We're just going to pretend the injectors are good. The only other thing that controls how the vehicle runs is fuel pressure. Now let me explain something with fuel pressure. So one of these guys had a guessnostic and they changed the fuel filters and stuff like that. Let me explain what happens. Bonus info. This is what happens when you've got a blocked fuel filter generally, including for a petrol vehicle. So if you drive the vehicle, as you take off, the more it revs, the more fuel it needs. And the higher gear it goes in and the more revs, the more fuel it needs again, because it's a higher gear, higher speed, more wind resistance, more load means more fuel to get. You're not going to get the same performance as first gear. You know, first goes, and then second's not, and each gear it's going to happen slower. And it's a bit to do with the gearing, but it's wind resistance. Wind resistance versus horsepower, or kilowatts if you like. Okay, so fuel filter. If it's blocked, what will happen as those revs go up, it'll slowly lean off and it won't get the fuel through, and it'll sort of, you'll go, what's going on? So that's a blocked filter, generally. I mean, general information, right? Now, it's going to do it consistently. It's not going to do it on and off and then come good and then, right? So common sense, got to get you thinking again, guys. Where's the common sense, right? Please think. If it's not consistent, then it's probably more likely, if it's a temporary, intermittent problem, intermittent's the word, a broken wire, something loose, whatever. If you've got a situation like this, for some reason the fuel at times is not getting through, because the fuel is what's needed to make the bang, to make the car go. So if it's leaning off, cutting out, it's not going when you put the foot down, you could have a problem with fuel pressure, which in the case of these diesels is the suction control valve. We've got heaps of videos on suction control. We've probably even got a playlist, and if we don't, at the end of this video, when I get some time, I'm going to make a playlist talking about suction control valves. I'm going to search on my channel, use that magnifying glass, suction control valve, fuel pressure, stalling, and every video that comes up with those words, and you'll find there's at least 5 or 10 showing you how to change a suction control valve, telling you why you should change it, telling you they're rubbish. And I know there's lots of awesome people watching the videos. They text me, they say, hey mate, I've got the short suction control valve, it's rubbish, I need a new one. I love it, it's just awesome, you know what I mean? And that's why I do these things. For the people that watch, what are we going to say in this video? It's double rubbish. It's just complete rubbish. So when you text me and say, I want an updated suction control. Now let me tell you who quickly, and then I'll give you a bit more info. I'm not nowhere near done really. Now, if you've got a 05, 6, 7, 8, around about 2009 they changed from the compact type, the short suction control valve, to the long type. Those people need to change it. If you've got a 150 Prado onwards, or a late, around 09, some 120s and Hilux has got the long one. If you got the long one, you don't need to change it. Not going to go into it too much. There's still wear and tear. You still could have problems, but the short one's rubbish. Everyone's got problems, even if you don't have symptoms. Now, important information. I plugged it on, so here they are, they're here. I said, I'll have a quick look. I wasn't expecting to leave it. There was 3 people here, 2 cars, having a bit of a chit chat. They were pretty impressed. This guy knows his stuff, the way he talks, he's honest, all that sort of, the usual sort of stuff. And I said, look, I'm straight away, within 20 seconds of a few questions, I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking it's a suction control valve, you know. But let's do the right thing. Let's not do guessnostics, even though it's going to spend a bit of time, cost them diagnostics time. And I'll be honest, there's no free time. It's not, oh, you know, you spent, you know, there's not, you know, time's time, right? Time's time, time is money. And when you're good, you've got to get paid for your time. Everybody wants you, whatever. You know, I'd rather be on holidays. You know, if you want me to be here and do this, you got to pay me, okay? So don't think anything's for free, and bada bing. So plug it on the, this is the important part, I plug it on the diagnostic, and of course there's nothing to see. Sometimes you look at these, when it's warm, the target idle is 35,000 kPa. Normally a good suction control valve is going to be 32 to 35, right? It's not really going to go over. Your overs will only be up to 36, your unders down to about 32. If you're getting that with a long suction control valve and no symptoms, you don't need to change it. That being said, some people that have changed them because they just want to, because they're fussy, have gone, yeah, I reckon it made a bit of difference, changing nothing else. So it is a maintenance item. Of course, we can supply the suction control valves for the later ones as well, but I'm not into wasting money. I'm not here to sell you crap you don't need. I want to give you everything you do need and nothing you don't, because that's going to make you happy. It's going to be efficient. I don't like waste, just a waste of money, waste of time. Can't stand waste. It's not about the money, really. I just can't stand waste. Okay, what else do I have to tell you? So we've said the engine's good, the injectors are good, so fuel pressure, suction control, I've changed it. So plugged on diagnostics, I promise you I spent about 5-10 minutes revving it up and down, did the 3000 RPM thing, the idle, revving it up and down, and the actual's got to chase the target, and it did. Now I could be wrong about this, so subscribe, turn the bell on, because at the moment I drove the car quickly, it didn't fault for me, right? I'm talking quick, I'm talking less than a K, half a K, just a quick, because they said, oh yeah. Anyway, I didn't want to waste time, and again, just waste time, I just want to fix it. So then they decided they want to leave it. They were talking about doing injectors properly because of the problem I'm going to show you shortly. I said, no worries, but let's get this fixed first. Let's make sure this is right, because I'm pretty confident this is what this is, and let's nail your main problem before we go throwing more money at the car. And I want them to have it back and see that it's fixed for themselves, which is what they're going to be picking up any minute. That's why I'm talking fast. You might say slow the word count down. I can't slow it down, and I've got more information still to share with you. So the new suction control valve went in, awesome. Started up, awesome. Went for a quick road test, about a K and a half, which from their description would have faulted in that time. Drives good, no problem, other than a bit of a tick, tap, 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 a bit of noisy tap, knock, knock, injector type noises. So I don't know where they came from. So that's the story in with that one and replacing it. Now let's get under the bonnet. I just want to show you one of the problems we've also found. Okay, so we're under the bonnet. I've found two main problems. Now look at it, it's just beautiful and clean. You can see they wrote the done, you know, that's when they worked on it, 2nd of July at 309k. You can see the kilometers and everything. That's cool. So they did that, and I look at it and I go, oh, look, it's all nice and clean and everything. Now I haven't looked deeply to see what other problems are, but oh, I didn't turn the light on once. So we've got the light on, we're out in daylight, but what I want to show you is, look at all that oil mess, and that's just not from changing oil. That's all the way down the side there. It's all the way down there, all the way to the back, right? See, oil, all the way in there, right? This side, right? If you can see, same mess in there. And look, we looked around it anyway. Long story short, we looked around it, and guess what? There's oil around the whole perimeter of the valve cover. Now, I've explained in other videos, it's really important to be in the VIP group and watch those injector replacement videos before you do any of this sort of work. It is a big job and there's a lot of mistakes that can be made. So don't just go, oh yeah, I've seen a couple of videos on Ant's YouTube, I can go for it. There's so much more. You need to spend the time. There's lots of pitfalls. What I've taken years and years to learn, you can't pick up in one video. You're going to miss 30% of it. You got to watch the videos a couple of times. You got to watch a few videos as a minimum. I suggest you do more. Start your study now before you work on the vehicle. Awesome cars, awesome engines, get to know them. These valve covers, they don't leak. These valve cover gaskets, sorry, they don't leak. Even when they're 10 years old, they don't leak. Did this guy replace it? I don't know. Did he crack the rocker cover? I don't know. That one cause of leaks is the cracked rocker cover. The other one is the dirt, the unclean around those solenoid seals at the top of the injectors. There's a lot of oil there all the way around. It's, look, I'm going to say it, that's pissing out. That's what we would, you know, that is automotive industry. That's not really a swear word, it's just what it is, right? Look at it, it's pooling oil right in the middle of the picture there, look at it, right? It's a pool of oil, it's absolutely pissing out, right? That is one of the worst, if not the worst, one of the worst valve cover leaks I've seen. Now, I haven't looked at the rest of the job. You may see a video on the rest of the job if you subscribe with the bell on. Look, broken clamp there. Right, and the problem with that is you don't really need that clamp. The problem is, see the hoses rubbing on the plastic there, and this one was around that way, rubbing on there, so that could cause problems. It's meant to be like that one, so it may clip back together, it may be broken, doesn't matter. But without going too deep, you know, I'm not going to spend too much time with the clamps under there. Oh, goody goody, so he's done a reasonable job, the clamps are there. Anyway guys, that's a video. This goes for diesels. You've got to think, back to basics. Think how you got to understand how an engine works. That's why you watch all our videos. We've been through the basics of how an engine works. Watch that one a few times. There's part 1, part 2, part 3, step by step. You know, it talks about the compression and then the valves. I don't know how good that is, but you need to understand that. Once you understand, and then you can convert the information from this vehicle to anything. You know, it's not smoke and mirrors. They're all the same, different, same. If you know what I mean. Once you understand the basic principles, if you're smart. Now, if you're not smart, I mean, obviously everyone's different, everyone's got different skills. If you're not, you know, mechanically apt, if you like, you know, it doesn't matter how long you do something or try and learn something, you're not gonna be, you know, red hot with it. Just have a look at that alternator wiring, what's going on there, just sitting not exactly where it should. Anyway, whatever, that's all right, that's not bad. Anyway, this is what I mean, I've got this problem, I've got to go. They're gonna pick up the car any minute. I'll do another video. If it doesn't solve the problem, I'm 99.9%, right? New suction controller, what are we talking about? Better show you, right? New suction, that shiny thing down there in the middle of the picture, see, right in the middle. Right, so that shiny thing that's long, just been replaced, right? That's the suction control valve and where it is on this engine, okay? Okay. What else can I tell you? If there's a problem and it doesn't fix it and it turns out to be something else, to be another video. If you don't hear anything, you don't need to write in the comments, oh, how'd it go? Everything's okay. If everything's not okay, you'll get another. Generally, sorry, you get a video when things aren't okay, don't you? When everything, what am I going to do a video and go, okay, good, this is just perfect, we've changed the oil, we've checked the level, that's good, checked the battery, that's good, everything's good, there's no problem here. See ya? Pretty boring, right? So I don't want to sound negative, but there's a video when everything's not okay, or to help educate you. This should have been a really good one. I'd expect to see a lot of thumbs up. I'll be disappointed if I don't. And all the sad cases that do the thumbs down, get a life. Thanks for watching, and bada bing, subscribe, turn the bell on, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, see ya. Oh no, and there's a little bonus. I said there's more than one problem. I forgot to tell you what the other one is. Very dangerous. Change your bloody bonnet struts. Don't bring your car in here without changing the bonnet. This wouldn't stay up a moment ago, and the slightest breeze, I'm just going to touch it, right? I'll put the stick down, here we go. It's going to touch it, right? I'm just going to go, okay, boom. And that's not how we shut bonnets, but it is if it doesn't stay up, and it's shut on me twice, not good. You can lose your fingers, dangerous. Please change your bonnet struts. Get a super cheap rope cage, just get the cheap ones for 20, 30, 40 bucks each, I don't care. Just change them. They're old. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.